Welcome back to Let's Play Happy Birthday. I'm your host, Timepants, and today we are taking on a beautiful New York cheesecake that my wife made. So check this out. This is Happy Birthday Timepants with the, oh my goodness, with the Darkest Dungeon logo on it. I could not contain my enthusiasm. I'm so sorry. I guess that means my wish won't come true, so look for a death in the next episode. Yeah, you know that you have met somebody that you can spend the rest of your life with when not only do they support you in good times and bad, they also support your ridiculous bullshit. And yeah, this is incredible. So I just want to thank my wife very, very much for making this. This is amazing. And I hope you have a very happy August 13th. I'm going to have a very happy birthday. And yeah, just thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoy the episode. Oh God. Welcome back to Let's Play Darkest Dungeon. I'm your host, Timepants, and today we are going to be continuing our run, which has thus far been incredibly successful. We do have a little bit to concern ourselves with regards to the stress level of our flagellant, but other than that, everything is really looking solid. This is really strong. It's going to sound maybe a little bit weird. I've been messing with my recording setup a little bit. I just haven't really been happy with sort of the tinny sound that I'm getting with my old microphone that's like 10 years old now and desperately needs to be replaced, but I just honestly can't justify the expense. So instead, we are going to, just mess around with some stuff. I think I'm going to run this through Adobe Audition, see if we can maybe get it sounding a little bit better, but that is quite enough shop talk here. So, oh, good lord. We are fine as far as, like, our stress is concerned, with one major exception, although that's quite enough, really. I have been sorely disappointed with the act-outs that the flagellant has been indulging himself in, and yeah, I really want to get that resolved. Like, I mean, I guess the obvious solution is that we just don't take a flagellant along, or don't keep the flagellant at 100 plus stress. I mean, yeah, that would absolutely solve the problem. But what's the fun in that? I mean, why bring this guy along at all if you're not going to use what makes him special and unique? You know, would you bring a grave robber along if you weren't going to use Duelist Advance, other than like the probably nearly 300 episodes that I recorded where I did exactly that? Other than that, would you do it? I do not think so. Well, this is horrifying. I mean, our flagellant's speed and just ability to generally act first or nearly first in the turn order, that's probably more than enough to safeguard us against total oblivion. But yeah, just watching him get the ever-loving shit kicked out of him is definitely getting my hackles up a little bit. I think that's what the kids call them these days, hackles, right? That's a youth expression. All right, so what are we doing here? Well,
treasure could staunch the flow of
honestly, we are in a really good place as far as all of our supplies are concerned, except for food. And when I decided to immediately begin recording another episode, I did not fully 100% think through the fact that, well, yeah, we probably will need to eat at some point during this extended campaign. I hope that the DLC videos that I've been putting out have been somewhat entertaining. I am not blind. Like, I know that the viewer numbers that I have now are a far cry from what they were back when the channel had its heyday, if ever a heyday were had. So, yeah. I mean, part of it is the fact that I'm nobody, but the other, and I think maybe insidious hidden part, is that just the DLC might not be that entertaining, and also I am going through it at a fairly slow pace. Unfortunately, I'm trying to kind of balance this with some other things, like some other projects that I have going on personally. But yeah, I do know that the DLC came out, like 2 months ago, and we still have not taken down the second boss. So I do want to apologize for that. I'm trying to churn these out as best I can, but yeah, unfortunately sometimes it's a little bit harder to balance things than I'd like. But that's, enough of the sappy stuff. How is the run going? Honestly, I think we're on autopilot. Until the food situation gets dire, I don't even want to think about it. It's the furthest thing from my mind right now, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah, we're still totally fine. We're still absolutely fine. So here is something that I've had stuck in my craw for a while, to use yet another modern expression that's almost certainly trending on Twitter. Yeah, this is something that I've been thinking about. What is the cheapest thing that you would return? You buy something at a store and you want to take it back. You're like, it's the wrong size, it's the wrong color, it's the wrong shape. I needed it to be 12 inches, and my manly sphincter just deserves more than this, right? What is the cheapest thing that you would return? I ask because my wife bought something that was I think sort of insidiously slipped into her shopping cart. It sounds like this is something dirty I'm about to say, which I would never do. I respect you far too much. But yeah, she got it was some sort of cleaning supplies or something like that. And she was like, I don't remember buying this. I think I'm gonna return it. Well, it was like a 20-minute drive one way. It was like $8. It's like, really? For $8? I don't know if I could justify that. Maybe I just eat the expense. So let's assume for a moment that this is going to be a fairly big drive. It's going to take you out of your way. What is the cheapest? What is the cheapest thing that you'd take back? So yeah, assume a 15-20 minute drive. I think and assuming that you got something and it's just useless. You absolutely you can't. Yeah, you can't be well, this is suboptimal. You just basically bought garbage. You bought litter. I'd say $20. Maybe that makes me a really unthrifty. Maybe that makes me a sucker. But yeah, for I think $20 is about the lowest that I would go, because when you take things back, it's not as simple as just dumping it in a bucket and just grabbing your money and just walking out the door, because there's kind of an exchange there. You got to go up to the clerk, and they kind of look you over like, oh, you're a returner. Okay, I have the upper hand in this exchange, and you have to be like, well, what's wrong with it? Well, I don't want it. Well, yeah, but what did you do? Like they're kind of suspicious. Like, how did you break this thing? How did you take it into the bathroom? Is it flagged? Like, that's a Seinfeld joke. Anyway, what did you do? Like, if I open this up, am I immediately going to be overwhelmed by the smell of human vomitus and feces? Like, these are all from the retail stories that I've heard, and this is excellent timing, I was going to say, but no, it turns out it was not. I've heard retail horror stories where they get back like underwear, like used underwear, months after it was purchased, left the store, and exposed to a human bottom for the first time. So, I mean, fair enough. I understand. I understand the concern of the clerk, but it's sort of an accusatory tone that they take with you. Finally, that doesn't really get to me anymore. Yeah, I would say about $20 to go through that sort of mental. I don't want to say duress. I think duress is not the word I'm looking for. Anguish. I don't think I would want to put myself through that kind of trauma for less than a 20. So, yeah. What about... Yeah, because like 15, I don't know. There's sort of something magical about the number 20, which I think probably at some point was a Schoolhouse Rock jam. But yeah, there's something kind of magical about that figure where once you hit that, now we're talking about some serious walking around money. Yeah. This is, I think this has the potential, this particular encounter has the potential to go off the rails more so than probably any other that we've encountered. Just from a standpoint of, again, not so much just absolutely roughing us up, potentially killing a character. No, I don't think so. But I think that a lot of stress has the potential to mount. I think this could eat into our... Well, okay, I mean, if you're just gonna be a dick to your coworkers, then yeah, I guess that would definitely take a toll on our stress. But yeah, I think more than any other encounter, I thought anyway that this had the potential to kind of get away from us and eat into our health and our consumables. It turns out we're pretty well managed here, and I mean, a lot of sort of the stress at a player level, not at a mechanical level, of these sorts of encounters is basically just how long they tend to drag on. And I thought, if this goes another full round where we're facing off against 3 or 4 enemies, this probably could end up being a bit more serious. But yeah, we actually managed to handle this pretty well, so I am glad for that. And honestly, our stress and health are in about as good a position as they've ever been. So yeah, let's take comfort in that, and thankfully we will get out of the fight here before before any real damage can be done. So, the thing that bothers me here is like, and this is kind of what I was getting at with the what's the cheapest item you would return thing. Like, one vial of the blued, not. God damn it. Okay. Like, one vial of the blued, definitely not worth an item slot, but I actually did not know that that could happen. Huh, that's, yeah, I thought we would just get another negative quirk, but no, it turns out that you can actually have them made permanent that way. That's weird. That's new and interesting, huh? That's probably been in the game for a year now, and I just haven't noticed because I play so well and don't make any mistakes. But yeah, that's weird. Yeah, but I want to keep a healthy stockpile of the blood, of course. I mean, 3 of our party members have the Crimson Curse, so, you know. But throwing out a perfectly good treasure or stack of consumables or something like that for what? For 1 vial? I don't know if I can stomach that. I think I'd need at least 2 before I start thinking about throwing out some of our treasure. Although, at this point, I think we might be having our Fallout New Vegas dead money moment where we need to learn to let go. Like, we can't take all of this gold and treasure out with us. Let's just content ourselves with something and just be happy that we survived the experience at all. So yeah, maybe I've grown a bit too attached to our possessions and need to learn to walk away. Our Hellions situation turned pretty dramatically there, and honestly, I probably should have just done target whistle rather than try and fix the stress situation, because actually we didn't fix the stress situation at all. It has deteriorated pretty dramatically. Although, let's turn this into a positive. Let's keep our wits about us here. We did just free up an item slot, and this has been something I've been agonizing about. So here, finally, we have the chance to get that, reclaim a bit of our inventory space, productively so. And yeah, this is a fairly good opportunity for us to kind of get everybody back fighting fit. Now, don't let me fall into the same trap. Actually, I don't know what's about to happen, so I think I'm gonna cut it here, and we'll pick up in a minute. Yeah. All right, so let's get back into it, and I am excited. Boom, let's go. All right, so did I just take a break and use the uncertainty of the run as a pretext for using the restroom? I might have. Did I know that I was going to do a recording that would require me to sit down in one place for 30 minutes to an hour, and should I have planned for that from the get-go? Yes, absolutely. But why don't I ask the questions around here, all right? So, I have never been the best man at a wedding. I've actually never been a groomsman at a wedding. I don't have a lot of what you might call friends. People mostly find my involvement in things that involve a large number of people to be generally a bad idea, a regrettable decision, if you will. So, I just have to kind of imagine and fantasize about these things, and I'm going to share those fantasies with you because my therapist said that this sort of sharing is welcome and appreciated. He also lives in a dumpster and sells me hypodermic needles full of fluid that I assume to be medicine. Come to think of it, well, I've already committed to the bit, so I'm gonna just do it anyway. So yeah, I've often thought about, the best man always gives a speech. It's called the best man speech, I think. And it usually takes place, if you've never been to an American wedding. I don't know how they do things elsewhere in the world, but after the ceremony, there's kind of a big dinner. Everybody gets together. There's some cake involved, and then best man, maid of honor, sometimes family, get up, make a speech, say, hey, kudos to you on getting married. And the best man speech tends to be the one with the highest opportunity for embarrassment, because the best man just honestly tends to be kind of a dick. At least if media is to be believed. But I think it would be really funny to do a best man speech where, all you did was, instead of describing, a embarrassing experience for the groom, or talking about some situation where you've been in together to kind of talk the guy up and make him look good, instead you just describe the wedding that just happened. How am I imagining this? Dude, Adam, do you remember that time, all of us dressed up in matching tuxedos and went to a church, and we watched you walk down this aisle in between your family and your friends, and you put this ring on Megan's finger, and you said you loved her and wanted to spend the rest of your lives together? Oh my god, dude. That was crazy. We were all like, whoa, this is a huge step, but we were really excited for you. And then, afterwards, we walked to this big tent area and ate a dinner with a bunch of different people we didn't know that well. Do you remember how big that cake was? Oh, man. And, I'll never forget when you handed me that microphone and told me it was my turn to give the speech. Crazy days, man. I still think about that sometime. Just really sincere and heartfelt, with a lot of love in it, but also, directly, in the immediate memory of everybody involved. I think that would kill. If you have a wedding coming up and you're a best man and you're invited to things with large groups of people, give it a try. I think that one. I think that would kill. So yeah, let me know. Give me your trip report. This run is just off the chain. It's so good. Really, honestly, truly, the only thing that we are lacking is food. And is that an essential component of a successful run, and two, living? Yes, to both. They're both instrumental in succeeding at a run and sustaining human life, obviously. But barring that minor, okay, dude, nail on. You need to stop cutting in line. I often compare my party to escorting around a group of children, especially in Crimson Curse, where everybody is infecting each other with awful diseases, and you're just basically kind of ushering them around and trying to keep the kids, the sick kids, separated from each other. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that now. But I feel nowhere is that comparison more apt than fucking nail on to the flagellant, butting in and jumping in line because, he wants to be the line leader. It's not your turn, dude, okay? In my classroom, I had a line leader and a line laster. Is Laster a word? Should you designate these positions? Shouldn't you just let the children who are ready go first? All of these are very good questions, inspire a lot of self-reflection, and it's making me very uncomfortable that you're asking this and calling my teaching ability into question. But yeah, we had a line leader and a line laster, and I thought it was a good idea, because I had it, that you make being at the end of the line also a position of honor. And yeah, we had them always start the count off for everybody before we went anywhere. And why did I get into this? Because I also want our flagellant to keep in mind that, being second in line is also a very, very important position, and I need you to stop fucking everything up by jumping ahead of your space. That's not cool, dude. Which is the exact same thing that I said to all of my students on a daily basis.
Precision and power.
But yeah, other than the food thing and the jumping in line thing, we are set. So I'm old and getting older. I'm almost 33, and gosh, I have seen too much of this world. It's made me weary. But none of my experiences make me feel wearier than witnessing the meteoric rise and catastrophic fall of the XFL. What's the XFL, you ask? Well, if you were born in like the mid-90s or aren't from the United States or aren't like the hugest wrestling fan, probably you have no idea what that is. So let me go ahead and break down for you what the XFL is, or rather what it was, or rather what it was supposed to be. Also, our food situation is dire. So the XFL was an alternative football league that was conceived. It was the brainchild of, I believe, NBC, and more importantly, wait a minute. More importantly, Vince McMahon, who you probably know of WWE, of professional wrestling fame. And like, the idea was laughed at. It was considered absurd because, okay, that one did kind of get me
Ambushed by Powell and Benjamin.
it was considered absurd because why wouldn't it be? Vince McMahon is a WrestleMans, and the NFL is an unstoppable juggernaut. But they went ahead with it, and the first week of the XFL was, well, let me actually partition this down a bit more. The very first play of the XFL was what was called a scramble. They didn't have a kickoff. They put the ball at the 50-yard line, and two members, like one member of each team, would run forward and try and grab the ball, and whoever came up with it, they got it. The very first play of the XFL resulted in this is not funny, but it's a little funny, a catastrophic injury that ended one of the players' seasons. So that should have been the omen that everybody really should have been looking out for. And yeah, the first week was a tremendous success because everybody wanted to see, what was going to happen. Of course, it's the train. I should have just had her attack. It's the train wreck. You can't help. You fucking guy. You can't help but look in spite of yourself. And it all went downhill from there. Like the numbers, like the ratings, the viewership just plummeted. It was in the goddamn toilet. And that did not take long. But the idea of the XFL stuck in everybody's mind as this horrible, awful debacle that cost, I think it cost NBC and Vince McMahon personally, or maybe just WWE, like $30 million of their initial $100 million investment. Ouch, right? But I think there's a positive message to take away from that. And I feel like if they spent tens of millions of dollars on the XFL, then I think that should be proof to everybody, or I think that should be instructive. That should go and show that everybody deserves a shot. You know, the XFL doesn't have to be a laughing stock, I'm doing finger quotes here, or a punchline, or the last word in any argument as to which generation was the worst. It can be a source of inspiration and just tells you that everybody deserves a shot, no matter how plainly obvious it seems that they don't. Right? Isn't that nice? Doesn't that feel good to say? Like, I think when somebody approaches you with an idea, when, you know, you're considering hiring somebody, let's risk it. When you're considering hiring somebody, or, you know, when somebody has a plan, you should approach it from the attitude that I'm not going to look at you as the XFL from April of 2001. I'm going to look at you as the XFL from February 2000. A lot of optimism and hope and novelty there. I think the world would be a better place. What am I talking about?
Gold, trinkets and
well, this has been just, I'm honestly, I immediately regretted throwing all that out. And of course, if we get a hunger event, we are going to bounce. But I'm thinking this is really good. Honestly, for as long of a run as this has been, I mean, good Lord. Start to finish, this is going to be like a 75-minute run, something like that. Maybe more. Maybe more. If we find like a big stockpile of food, which I thought those serving trays were supposed to be, I mean, who knows how much farther we can push this, because health, not really a concern. We didn't really make a lot of progress here, did we? Like, we froze everybody up, but we didn't really do anything. Yeah. Oh, yeah, this is actually gonna hurt. But yeah, this has been a good run. What do you think, like, the worst Darkest Dungeon run would be? So, okay. Let's construct the Darkest Dungeon run from hell. So first off, it'd have to be New Game Plus. It'd be long, champion level run in, let's say, the Weald. For me, I think the Weald is the hardest zone. It's got a high, like, shovel requirement, so it gets into your consumables. The enemies are dodgy. They're fast. A lot of them induce stress, do a lot of damage, shuffle your party. And I think the champion, like the new champion monster, is the hardest out of any of them. I think that's fair to say. And you got to run in. There's no curio that gives you like a big long duration buff, the way something like, you know, one of those holy statues in the ruins does. Or, I think it's the only dungeon other than the Darkest Dungeon, Crimson Court, you know, the special dungeons. I think it's the only one that does not have a curio that gives you a long duration buff. So, yeah, I think it's fair to say the Weald is the hardest. And you got to run in total darkness. So all 4 of your characters have the Crimson Curse. So they act out and require at least 1 stack of blood. So again, you're getting into like your consumable inventory. You're also, I don't know if long duration, I think long duration can only be explore the rooms or fight all the fights, right? 90% of rooms or 100% of room battles. But if not, I think my memory's serving me correctly here. But if not, it would also need to be one of those runs that's got a requirement like, you know, you have to like collect 3 trinkets or something like that. That way, you again start losing your inventory space as the run goes on. What else? Okay, so your party itself, I think you can be flexible with that. But yeah, it has to consist of at least 1 antiquarian, at least 1 leper, and it may not include a Vestal, Occultist, Hellion, Jester, or Houndmaster. So basically, no access to easy versatile damage. You can't have the best like plus scouting, camping buffs easily. What did I say? Vestal. Okay, so yeah, no access to like easy healing and stress relief. So that's out. Okay, so that's hard. What are we missing here? Quirks. Okay, so you have to have the following negative quirks. The plus stress in darkness, just the flat plus 10 stress quirk, the plus 20 stress in the wield quirk, minus 2 speed in darkness, and minus 4 speed on the first round. So you are going to get fucked in round 1, and it only gets a little bit better from there. And yeah, stress is going to be off the charts. As for positive quirks, we have to ban something. Okay, so nothing that gives plus speed, plus damage, or plus accuracy unless the bonus is conditional and we don't meet the condition. So if it's like, you know, plus accuracy or plus damage, yeah, let's get out of here. Plus accuracy or damage in the Cove, that's fine. But other than that, yeah, your trinkets also have to give you like a stress penalty, and again, no trinkets with plus accuracy or damage, and nothing that mitigates stress. And then you got to fight the Shambler, the Collector, the Fanatic, and then at the end, you find a Shambler Shrine, you activate it, and do that too. And then you let them stay in the brothel for the rest of their lives.